Hello and good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to National Graduate Week. I hope everything is doing well, everyone this afternoon rather. I am Andy from Current TV. I'll be your host for today. This session is in collaboration with Babcock, where we'll be deep diving into the opportunities that they have to offer, as well as showcasing what it's like to work at Babcock. Remember, if you do miss anything, don't worry, this session is recorded, so you can watch it on our YouTube and our channel on our website within the coming days. Remember, also, if you have any questions, leave them in the chat box and we'll come back to them at the end of the session during the Q&A. So, without further ado, I'll pass on to the Babcock team to continue with our session.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining this session with us today. So we're here speaking to you from Babcock International Group. Before we get underway with this presentation, I just thought it'd be nice for us to introduce ourselves. So I'll start. My name is Lauren and I'm a current graduate at Babcock. So I'm 2 months into my grad scheme. I work in the rail business unit up in Scotland. If I pass on to Ewan to introduce himself.
Hi everyone, my name is Ewan. I'm also a graduate on the same cohort as Lauren. My current placement is within the land sector and 2 months into that placement as well. I'll pass on to Isla.
Isla, you're on mute, sorry.
I had to be that person. Sorry, guys.
There we are.
Right. Hi, all right, I'll start off again. Hi, I'm Isla. I'm the same as Ewan and Lauren. I'm starting off on the grad scheme as well, just been here for about 2 months. I'm currently based up in Rosyth in Scotland on the Advanced Manufacturer grad scheme in the marine sector. Thank you, and I'll pass you off to Scott.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Scott. I joined Babcock 3 years ago and completed the graduate scheme last year, so I'm now working as a project manager based at Clyde. And finally, I'll pass you over to Basola.
Yep. Hi everyone. So I work in the recruitment team. So I'm one of the recruitment business partners. So I work with regards to recruiting, sifting applications and things like that.
Fab. Thanks everybody. Okay, let's get started with the presentation. So who are Babcock? So our strategy and what defines our strategy is creating a safe and secure world together. So this is our purpose. We support and enhance our customers' defence capabilities and critical assets through a range of product and service solutions. We meet our customers' requirements of increased availability, affordability, and capability. So what do we actually do? So we're an international defence company. We operate in countries such as the UK, Australasia, Canada, France, and South Africa, just to name a few. Those are our focus countries. We also have work across the world, several other countries, which could later on become a focus country for the company. We provide frontline and equipment support, training, product design, manufacture and integration, and technology and systems to defence, security, and civil markets. We also deliver effective and adaptable solutions that optimise capability, availability, and affordability through our 4 sectors: marine, nuclear, land, and aviation. And we do this with our strategy, again defined by creating a safe and secure world together. So let's split up what we actually do. So we can split this up into support and product. So in terms of the product, we provide through-life technical and engineering support for our customers' assets, delivering improvements in performance, availability, and program cost. We also deliver more complex program support to defence and civil customers. So this can include frontline support, equipment support, and technical training for our 4 sectors already mentioned. In terms of the product, we design and manufacture a range of specialist defence and civil equipment. This can range from ships and submarine components to liquid gas systems and weapons handling systems. We also provide integrated technology-enabled solutions to our defence customers in areas such as secure communications, electronic warfare, and air defence. I'm just going to pass you over to Ewan to explain to you how we deliver these things. Thanks, Ewan.
Cheers, Lauren. So from a support side, we'll deliver technical support and critical services to our defence and civil customers. This can be either through frontline support, equipment support, or training itself. From a product side, we design, manufacture, and integrate the specialist systems. whether this be through designing, developing and manufacturing, or technology and systems integration. Looking further into our capabilities from a support side, our engineers work side by side with the armed forces and emergency services specialists every day to deliver critical equipment support on naval, air and land programs, and for the emergency services to operate in the UK and internationally. We deliver the capability they need available to them wherever, whenever and however they need it. We're uniquely positioned as a company to support frontline operations with skilled engineers and capability backed by long-term through-life engineering expertise. We deliver complex equipment support for a range of defence and security assets operated by our defence and civil customers. We apply technical knowledge and expertise, digitally enabled asset management, as well as predictive support models. This is all done in highly regulated environments to deliver availability, capability and affordability without compromise each and every time. From rapid maintenance and repairs for military vehicles and aircraft, all the way through to complex deep maintenance, life extension and capability upgrade programs for nuclear submarines and their infrastructure, we're able to tackle high-stake, complex tasks in the most challenging environments. Looking more at the training, we deliver technical training for both naval, air, land, nuclear and emergency service operations, whether it's submariners, pilots, engineers, army personnel, drivers, operators, maintainers, officers or firefighters. We have supported multidisciplinary training in highly regulated environments over long-term programs. We'll provide an innovative range of training products and service solutions to enhance our customers' defence capabilities and critical assets, as well as ensure their personnel are mission ready. Looking into the product side, we've got a rich history in design, development and manufacturing, whether this be from naval architecture to mission-based product solutions for defence and civil customers. With our platform agnostic approach from concept to manufacture, the design phase offers many opportunities for the support of future platforms, therefore optimizing our overall availability. We continue to be involved in every major naval defence programme in the UK. This can include the design of submarines and the development of future support solutions to design, build and assemble the Queen Elizabeth class aircraft carriers and the Type 31 frigates. We develop and integrate technology and systems across the defence and civil assets, integrating the latest and best capability and equipment into life extensions, revalidation and new build to modernise assets and de-risk new build programs for our customers. We understand the increasingly digital environment we and our customers operate in. We adapt and integrate other people's technology, allowing us to plan, design and work in partnership with our customers to reach the best answer, using the right technology and harnessing it for the greatest impact for our customers and the work they undertake. I'm just going to pass you on to Isla, who will discuss our business as a whole.
Perfect, thank you, Ian. Right, guys, you can hear me okay this time? Right, ideal. So kind of moving you on to take us into our business, as Lauren mentioned in the overview, there are 4 key business sectors that Babcock covers. These are the marine, naval, land and aviation sectors, all which we'll be discussing in more detail later in the presentation. Under these sectors, you can kind of split up into 2 sort of key areas. You have naval engineering support and systems, which are delivering high-value technical and engineering support for ships and submarines, both in the UK and to other navies internationally. They also develop critical naval infrastructure and build and export world-class naval platforms and equipment, providing digital support solutions towards our customers, which will enhance their capabilities. On the other hand, we also have critical services that we supply in both the defence and civil sectors. Babcock provides high-value engineering and support services in both land and aviation, defence and civil, as well as nuclear and other critical sectors. We also deliver critical technical training services in both the defence and security sectors, whilst providing complex assets and equipment. Babcock also provides integrated solutions to our customers by bringing together the right technology and suppliers. The business is spread across the globe as well, with bases in Europe, South and North America, and Australasia, as well as many others. Each location will cover more than one of the key business sectors, with some examples being say, over in the pond in France, where Babcock's aviation division is delivering both military flying training programs and aerial emergency services. Even further afield in South Korea, there's an example of the company's latest business venture in Busan, with Babcock recently winning the first ever contract for the Eco CO2 cargo handling systems. With our global presence and tenured experience in these sectors, Babcock can deliver problem-solving services. With the combination of our workforce of over 26,000 highly skilled people and our focus on investing in long-term partnerships, Babcock helps to maintain national security and save lives, sustain critical and complex assets, and deliver critical and non-discretionary services. Everyone sitting here will understand the presence that technology has in our lives. And similarly, technology is at the core of everything we do at Babcock. The technology landscape is changing rapidly. That's why, as a technology-led business, we work in close partnership with our customers, knowing their journey is changing too. As our customers' assets have grown in complexity, they're turning to us for their technology solutions. From defence to the aforementioned aviation, and from the marine nuclear sectors, our experts will exert technical authority to make better decisions for and with our customers, wherever they are in the world. From data analytics and digital twins to asset digitization and sustainable technology solutions, we're ensuring that people have the right skill sets to take our business forward and support our customers. And here at Babcock, it's not just technology we use, it's the innovation that we bring and how we apply our engineering insight that sets us apart. And now I'll pass off to Scott, who will be taking you through safety and sustainability at Babcock.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So, being a multinational engineering company, there's a large variety of highly complex pieces of machinery and equipment which our people be exposed to working with, and that's why it's so important that health and safety is at the heart of everything that we do at Babcock. Here at Babcock, we do have a really positive health and safety culture, and it's everyone that works here at Babcock's responsibility to uphold the standard of health and safety that we have. One of the things that we do here is to encourage the Be a Pal initiative. And so what that means is to pick up the courage, ask the question, and leave it safe. And so what that does is it allows anybody that is on site, whether you're a graduate, an apprentice, all the way through to director level, if you see something on site that doesn't look quite right in terms of health and safety, it empowers anyone to be able to stop the job. So pick up the courage, go and ask what's going on here, why are you doing it in this way. You might notice it's just somebody not wearing a piece of personal protective equipment, and ask them, okay, why have you not got your hard hat on? Ask the question. It might be that they can't wear that piece of PPE like they usually would because it means that it's going to get in their way. It could just be that they've forgotten it, and then so leave the situation safe and make sure that you then understand, okay, they've not done that for a reason, or ask them, okay, could you go and get your hard hat and go and put that on for us? And so that's one of the things that we do to make sure that everyone goes home safe every day, and that goes for our employees, our contractors, and everyone that we interact with here at Babcock. So sustainability at Babcock is an integral part of our corporate strategy, focused on achieving governance, social well-being, and minimising the impact on the environment. So in terms of governance, this means that we operate with commercial integrity and being open, honest, and transparent with our business partners and our customers, making sure that we pay our suppliers on time, making sure we protect our workers' rights. In terms of the environment, it means that we try to be responsible consumers where we can, reduce our waste as much as we possibly can, and we're aiming to achieve net zero by 2040. In terms of the social aspect of it, that's all about how we treat our workers, addressing inequality within the business. You'll see there that we've got a target for 30% of all senior leadership to be filled by women by 2025, and then for 30% of all roles to be filled by women by 2030. And that we have signed the UK Social Mobility Pledge in 2021, which means that we're committed to reducing inequalities. Further to this, it's also how we engage with the communities that we operate in, and that can be anything from supporting local charity events to also sending our graduates or employees to support STEM initiatives in local schools. So there's 6 key principles that we have here at Babcock. The first of them being be curious. So we believe in positively challenging the status quo and asking how might we. One of the ways that I really like to try push this in the team that I work in is to encourage the attitude of not accepting the answer of we do a job like this because that's how it's always been done. We should always be able to challenge this, be curious and think of a new way that we can do this if there is a better alternative. Be kind. We believe in being kind to ourselves, being kind to each other, and kind to the planet. We work alongside our colleagues for about 37 hours a week, and so it's really important that you look out for those that you work alongside, and that can have a really big impact on their lives outside as well as in work. Being courageous, we believe in being brave, ambitious, and determined. So that's all about having the courage to step up and make a difference here. And so that could be anything from being a pal, because it would take courage for you to stop and question someone that's been doing a job for a long time and say, why are you doing that? Why aren't you wearing your PPE? Or it could be challenging a business process in the way that we do things. Thinking outcomes. We believe in measuring success by the results that we deliver and the positive impact that we make. And so that's all about really understanding the outcome that you're working towards and understanding how what you're doing contributes towards that. Collaborating. We believe that Babcock is greater than the sum of its parts. So Babcock is not just one person, and there's a team that takes working as part of a team and everyone helping each other out and working together to deliver our outcomes. And finally, own and deliver. We believe that our collective success depends on individual actions, and that comes down to each and every individual owning the actions that they have and then delivering them to make sure that we can deliver the best possible service or product to our customers. So why are our principles important? They create the foundation for how we behave as individuals and as a team. They keep us on course. They unify the work that we do, and they guide us towards success. And so as mentioned earlier on, there are 4 key sectors that we operate in. So there is the marine sector, a lot to do with shipbuilding, maintenance of the Royal Navy ships. There's the nuclear sector, land, aviation, but I'll pass you back to Isla now, who will talk you a bit more through the marine sector.
Thank you, Scott. So yes, as I'm a marine grad, I will take you through the marine sector, as that is where my current placement is based. So just kind of like a general overview, there are many ways in which Babcock will deliver through marine services. One such example is like through crew training or ship maintenance. We here at Babcock, we ensure that the UK Royal Navy goes to sea safely by supporting their ships and crews around the world. On top of that, using our technical knowledge and international presence, we support navies around the world by delivering complex ships and submarine sustainment programs. We also focus on delivering marine technology solutions to improve our customers' complex, safety-critical operations, again, showing the importance of keeping up with technological developments. So as to kind of cover the key sector information, the general activities that kind of occur within the marine sector can be split into defence and civil activities. So the defence activities, as you can probably imagine, kind of surround the building of warships, frigates, and aircraft carriers, both in the initial design progress, the actual building of the frigates, such as, for example, the Type 31 frigates, as well as the maintenance of these ships and other such as they go throughout their life. We also have examples in civil, where we had the maintenance of commercial ships. So, say for example, we had the Sir David Attenborough a couple of months ago, and also the installation and maintenance of liquefied gas handling, as I kind of mentioned, within Busan, South Korea. That's a very major sector that we're involved in. Our customers, again, all over the world, international. We're here based very heavily in the UK, but also over in Australia, New Zealand, and in Canada, with major LPG and LNG operators as our customers. Our locations in the UK are mainly based within Rosyth, Devonport, and Plymouth, with also our locations, as mentioned, in Australasia, Canada, Brazil, and Oman. So if you don't mind, I'll pass you off to Scott again to talk through the nuclear sector.
Okay, so one of the key things that we do in the nuclear sector is supporting the continuous at-sea deterrent, also known as CASD, and we have done so for over 50 years now, ensuring that there is always one of the Royal Navy's Vanguard class submarines at sea for that whole period of time. We also sustain the entirety of the UK's submarine fleet. So not only is that the Vanguard class we look after, but also all SSNs. So that is the A class and also the last remaining T class submarine that we have. As well as that, we also take a leading role in all civil nuclear work, from new builds to operational support and decommissioning of power plants. So key sector information. So as I've just said, there's the two key points we work in, defence and civil. So that's anything from the design, build, maintenance and upgrade of naval submarines. So whilst it may be BAE that actually construct the new submarines, we do still feed into the design of it and feed into the build through our LFE and our maintenance requirements, as it is ourselves that is responsible for maintaining the submarines throughout their life. We're also responsible for conducting what are called class mods and A's and A's. So they are design changes to the submarines and upgrades. And then in the civil sector, like I said, we help out with new builds, power plants. We've got the installations, decommissions of nuclear power sites, and also helping companies like EDF with their operational requirements. So customers, so in terms of civil side, we've got EDF being one of our primary customers, and there so we'll be working at sites such as Hinkley Point C, Dounreay, Sellafield. In terms of the defence side of things, there's the UK Navy, the Canadian Navy, and as well there's also going to be Australia through the AUKUS agreement. So locations there for that, obviously you've got Canada, Australia, soon to be, and then we are primarily based at Devonport, Clyde, which is where I'm personally based, and then there's also some work goes on at Rosyth, and that's where the decommissioning side of work goes on. And so I'll pass you over now to Ewan to talk through the land sector.
Cheers, Scott. So I currently work in the land sector. Our main two clients are the British Army and as well as the London Fire Brigade. So how do we deliver for them? We'll ensure that the British Army can focus on all of their missions safely by expertly managing their equipment. We also enable the Army to do their job through our technical training programs. And for London Fire Brigades, we ensure that all of their emergency vehicle fleets are operation ready. Looking at the key information for this, activity-wise from a defence sector, we'll mainly achieve all of this through training, vehicle maintenance and upgrades. And from a civil side of it, we'll look at fleet management, vehicle maintenance and upgrades again. As stated before, our main two customers are the London Fire Brigade and the British Army, and the locations for this can range from the UK to South Africa all the way to Australia. And I'll pass you on to, I believe, Lauren, who will discuss the aviation sector.
Yeah, thanks, Ewan. So last but not least, the aviation sector. So in this sector, we save lives with our aerial emergency, medical and search and rescue services. We protect communities with our firefighting operations, and we support the defence of nations by supporting air forces in the UK and overseas. So a very varied sector. So more detailed activities for this. So in terms of our defence side is air station support, military flying training, design, build, maintenance and upgrades to aircraft. And on the civil side, we've got piloting and maintenance of air ambulances, design, build, maintenance and upgrades to helicopters, piloting and maintenance of aerial firefighting aircraft. So our key customers for these services are air ambulance charities, regional governments and the UK and French air forces. And some of these projects include the Hawk contract. So this is an 11-year agreement with the Royal Air Force to support their fleet of 28 Hawk T2 jets that's based up in North Wales. We've got Ascent, which is a 50-50 joint venture between Babcock and Lockheed Martin to deliver UK military flying training systems. In terms of the air ambulance services, we have 35 years of aerial emergency medical services experience. So a very, very broad range of contracts, and you can find more information about these on the Babcock website. And these operate in several locations, including the UK, France, Australia, and Canada. So I'll now pass you back to Busila for the recruitment process. Thanks.
Hello. Hi, everyone. So I'll just give you a brief overview of the recruitment process as per my introduction earlier on. So I'm the recruitment business partner that works in the recruitment team. So just to give you a quick overview of the application process. So you can apply for all the graduate roles on the Babcock Early Careers website. When you navigate to the website, there is a big apply button where you can set up your candidate profile and you can apply for roles through this. So you can apply for roles throughout Babcock on the Babcock Early Careers website. If you are shortlisted, so the next step is after you've applied for your for the roles, if you are shortlisted, you'll be asked to complete some online assessments, which takes place on our Solver platform. So this kind of helps us to select candidates to invite to interview and assessment centers. And then the next step is the interview and assessment center stage. So depending on the role that you're applying for, you'll be asked to either attend an interview or an assessment center. Again, this is a chance for us to find out a bit more about you and also for you to ask questions and find out a bit more about Babcock and what we do. And then the final stage is the offer stage. So after your assessment, whether it's an interview or an assessment center, we will let you know via email and phone whether you've secured a place. So make sure that you keep an eye out on your phones and your emails just to make sure that you are aware of the outcome of your assessment center and interview. So just to kind of go through some application hints and tips, I'm sure you're already aware of this, but before you apply, make sure that you consider all your options. You are able to apply for multiple graduate roles, whatever you see fit. You are able to apply once you set up your candidate profile, but just make sure that you consider all your options. If you have a preference, there is a question on the application form that states candidates to basically select their preference and rate it from 1 to 3, for example. So if you have a high preference over one role, just make sure that you state that on your application form. And also just ensure that your CV and cover letter is up to date. So again, I am aware if you do need to update your CV or cover letter, you can do it on your candidate profile, but we always advise before you apply, just make sure that that's up to date, your CV and your cover letter. And then with regards to your written application, again, always advise, take your time, make sure you can, on the candidate profile, you can save and come back to your application. So just make sure you're taking your time and you're not speeding through it, or, and make sure that you're proofreading your work as well. Again, I would always advise be very thorough and keep it very simple. With regards to your interview, whether you are invited for an interview or assessment center, make sure you do your research about Babcock, about the sector you're going into. The guys have spoken about, the different sectors that we have within Babcock. So just make sure you do your research. Be prepared, come with any questions that you may have. No question it's fine if you don't have any questions, but if you do have questions, no too much questions is not enough. It's fine. Just come with loads of questions to ask your assessors, the hiring manager. At the interview and assessment stage, it's an opportunity for you to tell us about yourself as well. So we would learn to love about yourself, what you're doing at uni, any information that you'd like us to know. And I always advise, be curious, ask as much questions as you want. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's what, the hiring manager, the assessors are there to answer. They can answer your questions. And if they can't answer your questions, they can take that away and come back to you. I do also want to share, we do have a general recruitment inbox. I'm not sure whether you're aware, but when you do go to apply on the website. That email will be available to you for any queries. For example, if you do apply and you change your mind, or you need to change something, or you need to make us aware of it, we do have a general inbox where, you know, candidates and, you know, students can send in queries regarding. So I think that's me. That's the end. So I'll pass you over back to the host.
Hello. Right, we have a few questions to go through, not too many. So I'll go right into it, sure. Alan asks, do grads get to work across the various countries you operate in?
I'll take this one. So the international opportunities on the grad scheme, there are some, but it very much depends on demand and capacity at the time. So there's never a set amount. It depends what your grad scheme role is, where you're located, and the opportunities that come with that. So it's very time dependent on where you are in the company and when that comes up.
Mm-hmm. Great, perfect. Jasmine says, hello. Hello, Jasmine. It's a STEM-based degree essential for these graduate schemes.
So take that one. So no, it's not essential to have a STEM degree for it. So for the engineering roles, yes, that would be the case. However, there are other roles in the business services and also within project management which don't require you to have a STEM degree.
Perfect. As for graduates now, did you have any previous work experience before applying, and how do you think it helped with your application? Someone wants to take that first?
I don't mind taking that. I do have a bit of previous work experience. I'm also a reservist, and that was actually how I ended up meeting some people at Babcock whilst I was mobilised with the army. So from that point of view, that helped me apply for the job here. I don't think experience is actually necessary, though. A lot of the people on our scheme have pretty much come straight out of uni, so not needed, but it will help if you have it.
I'll add a bit onto that as well. I didn't have any particular work experience with an engineering company before I started it. I came straight from uni. Had some other kind of things I did alongside uni. I was involved with things like an IMechE Young Members Panel, which was obviously good for building some soft skills. But yeah, no other paid work experience.
Okay. Anyone else want to take that one, or should we just move on?
Happy for you to move on. Yeah.
No bother. Nat says, have you worked on any of the international projects? If so, what ones?
I mean, well, currently I can't really speak because I've only been with the company for a month and a bit. But I mean, I haven't been in any international placements, evidently. But one thing I will say is, obviously, I can't say any details, but it's quite common to work with international customers, as I'm,
Nice.
Doing within my first placement.
Mm.
So
well,
who knows where that
since
will
obviously
lead.
you're just starting, there's one here just saying about what's it like with the environment settling in. So as you're just settling in, how does it feel?
I mean, so on the Babcock side of things, honestly, you'd be so surprised. Everyone here is actually so lovely. It's obviously, as being a new graduate, getting into a new job, it's quite unnerving. It's what do you expect, especially like, not to kind of pull this card, but it's going into engineering workforce where I'm the only kind of like woman in the environment a lot of times. But everyone genuinely is like here to do their job, to kind of produce the best quality of a product that we can. So the environment's been open, it's been helpful, it's been so welcoming and accommodating. So it's been really good. It's been a massive learning curve, I'll tell you that for sure. But I've had absolutely a brilliant time for the past 2 months. So yeah,
Very
if you have
nice.
any more
How about the other graduates?
questions, but
How were they? How did you guys settle in when you just joined?
Yeah.
How did you find it?
I second what Isla said. So I relocated from the south of England up to Scotland for my first placement. So you're moving for a 6-month period, so it's quite awkward. But came into the office, everyone was very, very friendly, giving me lots of recommendations for like how to make friends, what clubs to join, like, coffee shops, restaurants, things to do. You also have a mentor, so a line manager assigned to you, a mentor and a buddy. So the buddy tends to be someone who's in the grad scheme, maybe not necessarily the same scheme as you, but in the year above you. So they can help you with like day-to-day grad, like admin you need to do. And then your mentor is there for the whole scheme. So generally just to have like a good relationship with somebody who's like progressed through the business, so you're getting like lots of different levels of support and help like on the day-to-day. So the easing into the business has been like quite straightforward for me, at least.
Very nice. That's good. How many graduates usually stay with Babcock after completing the scheme?
I suppose, Scott, you're the only one that's...
Yep. So I think in terms of at Clyde, I think there was about 13 joined at Clyde the year that I joined, and I believe only one of them left. I think everyone else is still there, so I'd say there is a fairly high retention rate. People do generally end up quite liking it and want to stay.
Oh, yeah, I think the national average is usually around 85 to 90%, I believe. I'm sure it's the same at Babcock. Remy says, are interviews always in person, or can you do this online?
Yeah, so I can take that. It can vary. It depends on the role. So it's mainly online, just because obviously we understand that, people are at different places. They might not be able to travel up for the day, for example, to a Bristol office or to a Scotland office. So it does vary depending, but we will let you know if you do progress to an interview or an assessment centre. But for now, majority of our assessment centres are interviews, either via Teams or via our platform Solver. But we will let you know if it's going to be, face to face, and you might be required to, travel up for the day or something.
Very good. How do the graduates make a good work-life balance? So how have you been finding that?
I can kind of have my input on this, because the first thing that jumps to my mind, honestly, is I'm very lucky that where I'm based in Rosyth, we have the option of a 4-day work week. So I've kind of been finding that it's been working pretty well in terms of it's a 4-day work week in terms of the hours are still the same, just fit into 4 days. But having that extra like Friday completely freed up means that I tell you, I've probably more social like in the past like 7 weeks than I have been like last semester at uni. Like it's I'd say the work-life balance here is really healthy, and I've been encouraged by my manager to maintain it. Like it's pretty good.
Very nice. I'll keep moving on. There's a few coming in there. Raf says, what do you think are the most important skills or knowledge you've gained during your time there so far?
Yeah, I'm happy to start this one. So I'd say the confidence. So I kind of came into the company thinking I had pretty good communication skills, happy to present and whatnot. But when you're thrown into something, there's no expectation for you to know your business unit. So I'm currently working in rail. I didn't have a clue about rail before I came into this business unit. I did a presentation recently, so that was about 6 weeks in. So the change in confidence in 6 weeks to be able to speak about technical things like how the business works is something that really surprised me. So even if you come in feeling in a good position, like you will still grow in places you don't expect to. And the other thing I'd say is that ties in with asking for feedback. So I've been encouraged by my manager, my mentor, to ask for feedback. So if you chair a presentation or you chair a meeting, just send out an email afterwards asking for some feedback, things that you did well, especially with a lot of meetings happening on Teams. Sometimes it's really difficult to manage people like talking over each other or like trying to have input in the middle of a presentation. So definitely, confidence and asking for feedback has been really valuable for me to learn.
Very good.
Just add on from what Lauren said there, I think networking is a massive skill you'll end up picking up as well. I think for the first 3 weeks of my placement here, I've just been getting introduced non-stop to heads of departments here, heads of programs, being encouraged by my placement manager to reach out to people that I haven't even met in person, to work on projects with them. Still to this day, I'm having to meet people that I haven't met in person before, just because I'll have upcoming projects with them. So the networking skills that you end up building from once you start working for Babcock are really good, and it's massively encouraged.
Amazing, Ian, amazing. We've got a good one from Kate. She was asking, how have you found support system? So it's kind of like what you were saying. Is there a mentorship program on the scheme?
So yeah, following on from what I mentioned earlier, I wouldn't say there's something as structured as a mentorship program. At Babcock, it's very much what you put in is what you get out. Nothing will necessarily be handed to you, but there are so many opportunities. If you say yes to things, then the doors will open. In terms of your mentor, again, it's what you make of it. So if you have a really good open relationship with your mentor, they will help you, and you can always go back to them throughout the 2 years and after as well if you stay on at Babcock. So we've definitely met in our first 2 months graduates in the year above, graduates a few years above us who are now in substantial roles in the company, who are still in touch with their mentor, just have a monthly catch up with them. So I'd say to that is definitely what you put into it. Oh, I think you're on mute.
Sorry, you're on mute there.
Yeah. Okay, right, that's not mine.
Hello?
There we go.
Yeah, you're back.
All right, headphones run out of battery. It's been a long day. So yeah, we were just talking about the mentorship scheme, but obviously there isn't one. But you were saying there's still some form of mentor you're given, correct?
Yeah, so before you even set foot into your office, you are told who your mentors are. You might have multiple, who your manager is and who your buddy is. So they encourage you. Your early careers team will provide that information. So there's early careers team across each sector, and they will provide you that information. So you can contact your manager, your buddy, your mentors prior to starting. So the week before I started, hadn't even moved up to Scotland yet, and I had a phone call with my mentor. It was just really encouraging, just know what voice to listen out for. And he was one that met me in the office on my first day. So it's just part of the process of easing you into. They don't just leave you stranded and you rock up at an office having no idea. They give you a bit of information before you turn up.
Yeah. How have the other graduates been finding that support?
Yeah, I think it is good. In terms of the mentor as well, they're obviously there to help you specifically for, so say if you're a project management graduate, they'd be there to help work you through your 27 APM competencies and start showing how you're building experience against each of them. Or if you are an engineer, they would work through, say, your IMechE or IET or whatever institution that you're looking to become professionally accredited by, and they'd work through your competencies for them as well, support you on that.
Perfect. Someone asks, what is why did you choose Babcock as opposed to the other company? What sets Babcock apart?
On my end, I'd actually had 2 previous internships with Babcock while I was at university. So I was lucky enough I got to kind of experience Babcock before fully kind of stepping into the graduate process. But as to the internships, I mean, I think most of you will understand you apply to many companies. Because I got very lucky with Babcock that it just happened to me, I got a place on the internship scheme, the opportunity to kind of come along and actually show myself for a summer. And what that really showed me was the wide breadth of projects you can get involved in. And what kind of drew me in was that, and just how easy it was to kind of say yes to something, if that makes sense. To say yes to, oh, yes, I will help out with that. And how that, again, like Lauren said, opens up so many more doors. And it just means you're not kind of holed up doing one project forever, one type of job forever. You will develop so much as a person while kind of in your multiple different roles. So perfect. That and it's international presence. Babcock's got its fingers on the pulse. So it's definitely a good company that you want to go for.
Yeah, obviously you just being there, so within, as you said, a month and a half, have you sort of felt your future idea change and what you want to like go into with Babcock, or is it still you're set on the same thing?
I mean, it's kind of one of those things of there are so many opportunities at Babcock that I can't tell you what I would be doing within 3 years' time, because I know there are going to be so many more doors that'll be opened when I step to the next one. So really, like personally right now, just because I've been here for like 2 months, I'm very much enjoying discovering what there is to do at Babcock, what there is to explore and discover. But I absolutely like there are so many different kind of roles and sectors that you can walk into. Like even from my position here as someone on the graduate scheme, I think I saw someone had like asked that as a question of like, oh, are you stuck within one sector?
Yeah.
And absolutely not. We've got, some graduates up on placement here from the nuclear sector. Like it's basically, as Lauren was saying, what you put in is what you get out. You kind of push for opportunities. If you open those doors, then they will come to you.
What about the other graduates? Have you all sort of had your mindset on one thing, or are you like Isla, where you're not really sure what's next or within the next 3 years?
So similar position to Isla. I've got absolutely no idea what I want to do. And also as a company, telling that to the company, that's absolutely fine. So I'm on the project management grad scheme, but I did mechanical engineering at uni. So depending on like your background, you can tailor your placement sort of. Also, it doesn't matter what scheme you're on, you can tailor it to what you're interested in. So I'm currently looking for my second placement. I'm thinking I might want a bit more of a technical role. So you can make it your own, and they've told us from day one that no one's placement experience or grad scheme experience is the same as someone else on your scheme. So again, going back to opening doors, opportunities, networking, like it all ties into sort of where you want to go, and you don't need to know at the end of 2 years where you want to be. You just need to think about what you want and what you enjoy right now, and then tailor it sort of day by day.
Is there any transferable skills that you've gained from your time at Babcock so far?
So I think definitely in terms of, I'm very similar to Lauren, that I came in from having an engineering degree, and I've went on to do a project management graduate scheme, working as a project manager now. So essentially all my project management education, which I've managed to get through the scheme, definitely transferable to anywhere else I wanted to go, where that would be another engineering company or just another company working as a project manager in any other kind of sector.
Very good, very good. Matt says, can you describe any specific tools or technologies that are essential for you in your work as a graduate at Babcock?
I'd say that's very placement dependent. So although some systems are company wide, if you're in an engineering role in rail, there's like multiple disciplines within engineering within rail that would use different like software and technology. Again, going into marine or nuclear, it's very much dependent on where you're working and what you're doing, but that doesn't mean you can't have exposure to other technology. You just have to ask your manager for a week with an engineer, and that'll be fine. They're always encouraging you to speak to everyone in the office, like form good relationships with your team and different departments as well.
Perfect. When do the applications open and close?
Yeah, so I can take this. So we have gone live regarding grad roles. So we went live on the 4th of September. So applications are open. You can go on the Babcock website and start putting through your applications. With regards to the roles and the application close date, so those will be closed on the 14th of December. Just to make sure that anyone who's applied between this period, we are processing them through the process, letting them know their feedback, whether they've progressed or not. Keep an eye out on the website, I would say, because there might be also some roles that reopen in the new year if we haven't managed to, get enough candidates through the process for this year.
Do you have the link just for everyone in the webinar so it's easier for them?
Scott might have shared that on the chat. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Thanks, Scott.
Oh, yes. Perfect. I might, the question there, can you share any experiences of contributing to sustainability?
Yeah, I can start and then pass it on to the other grads. So there is actually, or there can be, a sustainability placement. So there is like a core environmental team that works at group level, so across all the sectors. So that is an option as well. Going back to networking, you can make a placement out of a business unit. Sort of any manager, you can approach them, have a conversation. If that suits your scheme and your early careers approve it, then you could have a sustainability focused placement. There are people previously who have gone and created a placement that didn't exist before. Sustainability is definitely a bigger thing now than ever within Babcock. We've got net zero targets and a lot of work on climate change as well, and all of our emissions. So personally, in my placement, I'm not working on sustainability, but I know other grads who are like more involved in that sector, and you could rotate round into that team throughout your 2 years.
Very good. Anyone else?
I mean, kind of pulling from what Lauren said, there is quite literally a sustainability graduate right here at Rosyth. So just to kind of put across me, if you are interested in something like that, that is something that Babcock can provide as a graduate program. But overall, it's kind of, there's no distinct project or distinct like kind of task that has been sustainability based, but it is just concurrent throughout the entirety of like what we do. It is something that is very much there within like even like the plan of the day. We're talking about like there are safety and there are sustainability targets that we run through. You know, going from the basics of just waste, being aware of just kind of how we are utilizing the materials that we have, and and as such. But it's kind of, it's more so there are big same projects at Babcock, but within my project, it's more in the little things that we can do along the way that help kind of progress sustainability here.
Amazing.
But yeah.
Perfect. How about yes? Here's one. Just getting through. Yes. So if you had obviously the floor here to speak to all the people in the webinar, what would be your final words of advice for someone who would want to come onto the Babcock team?
Who wants to go first?
I'll take
You need to take it.
Obviously, put in your applications as you would for any job. If you get all the way to the assessment centre, I'd say be yourself. A lot of the tasks that they'll have you do on the day, they're not looking for who's the smartest in the room. They're looking for who's the, we'll try and find the right word to say it, who's the most sort of relatable and who would they want to work with. They want to look for people that are curious, will think about outcomes, will be kind to sort of colleagues. They're very much looking for the personality, not what's on the paper. So be yourself, and obviously do your research on the company before. But I think that's standard advice to give to any company you're planning on applying to.
Amazing, Ian.
Yeah, I think Ian's bang on with that, to be honest. It's at the end of the day, like when you're applying for a role, say if it's a technical role, like I'm a mechanical engineer, I'm going for advanced manufacturer, it's kind of a given if you're applying for that role, you will have technical competence. Obviously, those things are tested. So as you would for any other job interview, make sure you are doing your preparation for technical interviews. But what really stands out in the candidates is being a team player, someone who does work well with others. Like that is so crucial in a work environment. You know, you can have the smartest guy in the room, but if he doesn't talk to anyone, you're not going to get any work done. So it's kind of having a balance of all those, which is why when people were asking about work experience earlier, I was kind of thinking about it because I know it's probably relevant to, like, say for me, an engineering work experience. But honestly, the work experience that has given me like the most valuable skills are like the multiple jobs I've had throughout uni within the service sector, because they've really given me like those communication skills, those perseverance skills that have kind of helped me actually get through my job. But amazing. Yeah, that's just kind of a bit.
Amazing, Anna.
I think
Cool.
if
Sorry, no, you go, Scott.
Cheers, Lauren. So I think for myself, key things I look for at an assessment centre are that you're able to communicate clearly and work well as part of a team. They really are the two key things. And then following on from that, if you are lucky enough to be successful and get onto the scheme, it is really just the scheme is what you make of it. Like I think it was Lauren had said earlier on, you're not going to have everything handed to you on a plate. But if you do go out and seek out opportunities, people generally will be willing to support you and help you be successful in that.
Actually, yes. Do you mind if I just slightly interject off of something you said? Because honestly, if there's one thing I would say, like past the application process, as a graduate, as an employee, initiative is like the key factor. Take initiative, whether it is with what you do for yourself or how you're working as a group. Don't sit around and wait for, managers to hand feed you work or, the opportunities to come to you. You have to take the initiative to go out and do things, get what you want and contribute towards your kind of working group. But yeah, I'll let Lauren talk. But
inspirational speaker.
Yeah,
I'd probably say my piece of advice would don't be afraid to say yes. So like I relocated for the job, like I was able to, so I just took the risk, moved country for the role. I think it's been really valuable experience for me. But also say yes, like within the workplace, for your grad scheme. So you can have like STEM activities, like work hours. So that's part of your grad scheme. So you have to do like 22 hours of STEM activity. So like don't be afraid to say yes to some things that will push you outside your comfort zone for that. So in terms of like mentoring a group of students, or working at a careers fair. And I think more relatable to all of you listening would probably be the assessment day. Just like don't be afraid, like Ewan said, to be yourself. Like just sort of put yourself outside your comfort zone, speak up if you think you have a good idea. Like also just try and communicate well with everybody else on the assessment day. Everyone's probably in the same boat as you, feeling very nervous. So just be friendly, like be kind to each other, and just try and be yourself.
Perfect. Anyone got any final words they would like to say, or forever hold your peace?
Yeah, I was going to just agree. Some really good points that the graduates have made. From a recruitment perspective, be prepared, do your research, be curious, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. With regards to assessment center days, it is overwhelming for, graduates and candidates, but just be yourself, ask questions. If you're not sure of something, always just ask questions on the day, because everyone's there to help you. No one's, obviously they are assessing you, but they're not looking to, mark you down just for asking a silly question, for example, or a question that you think might be silly, but it's actually a valid point that everyone else is thinking of as well. So ask questions, don't be afraid, don't be nervous. They're really friendly, they're welcoming. So yeah, that's just it for me.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. I hope everyone found that as insightful as I did. I really hope everyone really wants to apply for Babcock now. Remember those dates that was said. And if you did miss anything, don't worry. It'll be up on our YouTube and our website in the coming days. That's Career Map TV. Remember to like, subscribe as well. It always helps us out. So thank you very much from everyone from the Babcock team for joining us for today's National Graduate Week webinar. I hope everyone gets applying, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next one. Thank you very much, guys.
No, thank you.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheerio.